Hi, I'm Greg Bluestein, political reporter for the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. I'm here at the Georgia Capitol where Governor Kemp just delivered his latest update on the coronavirus crisis in Georgia, and he made a significant amount of news. The biggest development was he extended Georgia's shelter-in-place order through the end of April.
Earlier today, I signed an executive order extending Georgia's public health state of emergency through May 13, 2020. This measure will allow us to deploy more resources to communities in need, lend support to frontline medical providers, and keep preparing as we brace for potential patient surge in healthcare facilities.
And another big development, he instituted restrictions on nursing homes, which have become hotspots in the coronavirus outbreak all over Georgia.
Facilities must adopt infectious disease transfer protocols with nearby hospitals. Visitors and non-essential personnel are strictly prohibited except in compassionate care situations. If feasible, these facilities must provide in-room dining services and all group activities be canceled.
There are about 60 nursing homes at least that have had cases of coronavirus in Georgia. He's very worried that those will become breeding grounds to infect employees and more residents. And of course, residents who are elderly are the most vulnerable of Georgians. The medically fragile is how he terms it.
To ensure compliance, I'm empowering the Department of Public Health, National Guard, and the Department of Community Health to issue directives to facilities to prevent, monitor, and treat COVID-19.
There's been growing pushback on the governor from coastal communities and as well as North Georgia who are upset at the message that his restrictions superseded local restrictions. Essentially what that meant is they lifted the tougher restrictions in local communities, such as closing down the beaches in Georgia's coast and closing down parks in some North Georgia communities. And so what's happening is local officials in Savannah and all along North Georgia have written him letters and have urged the governor to let them take further actions. He has held the line. He said that he will close the beaches or state parks if he deems it necessary. But right now he said people need to get out. They need a valve to go get exercise, to get fresh air.
Many residents of our coastal areas and other places that are glad that we have those outlets for people to get some exercise, to get some fresh air, to do it in the right way through social distancing. You know, I have made that decision based on my discussions with Dr. Toomey, but I understand their concern. That's one reason we went ahead today and did the ban on short-term rentals. I think there was a lot of concern about people coming that didn't need to be traveling. You know, I've heard that concern. And if something gets out of control and Georgians are not following the directives and social distancing, then we'll shut those down in the future. But right now, people are behaving.
One of the most difficult decisions Governor Kemp has is whether or not to crack down further on houses of worship and churches.
We just want to continue to have our churches, you know, follow the guidance that we have. The last thing we want to do is to go out like we had to do at this church and give citations. But the fact of the matter is, we got complaints. We went out there and asked nicely and dispersed them, and then they were back that night. I mean, that is just, you know, that is not how we need people to operate. We do not want to be the bad guy. We want our citizens to be part of the solution, not part of the problem, and that's what I continue to ask our faith leaders to do.
Over the next few days, expect the governor to issue more guidelines on houses of worship and religious services, as well as new details on how the state is expecting to help hospitals deal with a surge in coronavirus patients. The AJC reported recently that they've even started scouting the Georgia World Congress Center and convention centers in Macon and Savannah to potentially turn them into makeshift emergency hospitals. This is Greg Bluestein with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution signing off. Be sure to follow the Atlanta Journal-Constitution at ajc.com for all the latest details on the coronavirus in Georgia.